Well, I've been here many times before in my coaching career, and it's not a great place to be, but it's also a place where every team gets to, and during the season, and we just got to figure out how to get out of it. And that's kind of how you define yourself, who you are, is how you get out of these little ruts. But the story ends good if you got really good kids who are talented, good teammates, and work like crazy. So that's what we have. And we got to get back to our winning ways, and for us to do that is we just got to clean some things up, and play a little more fundamentally sound, and we have to defend, limit the free 90s we're giving people. And when you get into Big 12 play, you can't walk people, you can't make errors, there's no margin for error. So we need to play cleaner baseball, which we're certainly capable of doing, and hopefully we can do that this weekend at home.
Go ahead, Cole.
Yeah, Coach, I just was curious how we're doing on the injury front. I know Jordan Maxson came out of the game on Sunday. I didn't know if that was injury related, and if you could kind of just give an update on how the injuries are going on in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a bug from an injury standpoint. We've been, knock on wood, we've been maneuvering our way through the COVID deal, but yeah, we got a little, Willman's got an oblique, and that's a terrible strain to have for a baseball player. It shows up when you throw, it shows up when you swing. You really can't hide that mechanically. And Sperlin is just not recovering from that off-season surgery. It's in his wrist. He's got screws in there. It's just, there's so many moving parts, and it's a violent area, when you're swinging a baseball bat. So he's hurting. Max strained his calf stealing that base in the second inning against Oklahoma State on Sunday. And then Cole Johnson got a hamstring at practice yesterday. So catching like wildfire, So we got a deep bench, but I'll tell you, when you get Sperlin and Willman out of there, when Willman's playing at a high level confidence-wise, he's a really good defender. And Sperlin might be one of the better defenders in the Big 12 first base. So then you got to move some people around, and we're just playing catch up with that right now. But we have some guys that have practiced in those positions, so it's really not new to them. But they need to catch up with game speed. Playing those new positions is a lot different than just practicing.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into my next question regarding the defense. How much of a factor is guys? I know you mentioned Daniel Carinci playing out of position a little bit at first base. He played there on Friday night. Is that a big adjustment for guys, especially as we move into conference play? How do you handle that as a coach?
Well, I think we do a good job of prepping for these circumstances, and we do that in the fall and in the preseason, where we move guys around constantly. But like I previously said, when you get into game speed and Big 12 speed and situations, it kind of speeds up for those guys because of their lack of game experience at those positions. You just got to be patient with them, and the key is not to put too many people out of position. If you can make one move and have one guy out of position that's not really handling the ball a whole lot, then that's the right move. So I think we'll probably lean toward. I like Daniel at first. He'll be fine over there. Dylan Phillips is a better first baseman and more experienced over there. So I just want to get our infield really sound right now. And then if I have to err on the side of moving people out of position, it's probably going to be on a corner outfield spot.
And then the last one for me, a little bit, you just talked about the outfield. How are you kind of handling that? I know last time we had press conference, I asked about the outfield situation. Has that changed over the weekend? Have you kind of found who you like out there, or what's the thinking when it comes to the outfield for this weekend?
That job's a couple of those. Well, one of those jobs now, two has been wide open, and no one really wants to take it. I do think Cam Musselton played really well this weekend for a freshman, and to get his first extensive time in Big 12 play in a tough venue to play back in his home state, and he handled it great. I thought he played well defensively. I thought his at-bats were really mature. So, it looks like we're going to play him in center field with the right matchups. Feel good about that. And, other than that, it's been wide open. We haven't got consistent play from anybody else that's gotten the opportunity there. Another option for us could be to put Nick Goodwin in left field. That's another option that we'll work at and we'll probably explore this weekend.
All right, Colin, and then we'll go Tim.
Hey, Coach. I hope all is going well in your world. You were talking about Nick there. That was kind of the questions that I want to ask about. Get some intel on Nick Goodwin. Where do you feel his play is at right now as a true freshman stepping up into the role that he has on the team, specifically at the plate?
Yeah, we've asked him to do a lot, from day one. He's hit 2, 3, or 4 in every single lineup that I've put out there. That puts him up with a lot of pressure situations, a lot of men on base, and he's above and beyond where a freshman should be at this level of college baseball. If you look around our league, positionally, each team has maybe one guy that's contributing at that level as a freshman. College baseball's at an all-time high as far as level of play, and the learning curve for kids right out of high school is pretty steep right now. And for Nick to be able to maneuver around that and really be a fixture in our offense right from the gates is amazing. And he's the biggest challenge for Nick is to be able to deal with the struggles that come with this game, because he had success right out of the gates. It looked like it was easy to him, but it's inherent that you are going to fail at this game. But it's how do you figure out the failures and how you get out of those ruts that define you as a college baseball player. And he's working through that right now, and he's done a good job with that. Couldn't be happier with Nick.
What attracted you to him coming out of high school? Because obviously he didn't have a senior season with all the shutdowns. He played Van Johnson over this last summer. What was that process like bringing him in?
Yeah, we identified him the very first summer we were hired. So that was the summer of his junior year. He plays for Building Champions. That's one of the top travel programs in the state and the region. So we identified him as a guy that fit our profile. A kid who was athletic, he can run, he can play in the middle of the field, and can hit. He can hit breaking balls. He doesn't have a whole lot of swing and miss in him. Really short, compact swing, and a great kid from a great family. So he checked all the boxes, and he made a huge jump after he committed to us. It's quicker than we anticipated. So he came on campus. He was game ready. We saw that at the fall of his senior year, that the jump that he made offensively and physically. So we identified. He's one of the first kids we signed as a staff.
Last question I have for you here, Coach. I know you were just talking about wanting to secure the infield. You might be playing him in the outfield. Do you see him as a second baseman? Do you see him in the outfield? I know he's been DHing. Where do you see him in the field right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do see him playing in our infield next year. And, he needs to develop in that phase of the game. He will. It's such a faster game than he's used to at the high school level or in the travel ball level. I mean, the ball is on you, and everything. The runners are faster, the ball's faster, the surfaces are faster, so that takes time, but I do see him playing in our infield in the future. Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Colin.
Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. You mentioned playing cleaner ball. You've been around the block a few times, no offense. How do you get a team to shake out of that? And how difficult is it when you're playing in a conference such as the Big 12 where it's just relentless?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's a confidence thing, and you can't put too much pressure on these guys. I mean, I had 2 freshman middle infielders play this weekend for us, and that's not how I wanted it to be designed, because there's so much learning going on, and then sometimes that learning comes in the form of an error or a mistake with a cutoff or a relay throw, and that adds to an extra base runner. And sometimes you don't see it in the stat sheet, but I see it from the dugout, and it leads to a run. So there's no time for a learning curve in our program where we are in the Big 12. There's no real margin for error. So you just got to keep developing these guys. You put them in positions where they can have success, and then it's the confidence thing. That they all have the ability to play at this level. It's just we got to get them there mentally at a quicker pace, because we're down a shortstop and we're down really a premier first baseman. These guys are good enough. That's why we recruited them. I keep telling them that they're not freshmen anymore. They've been on campus for a long time. They were freshmen in August, and we're almost in April now. So they're not freshmen, and as soon as they can just kick into that, they're good players. They'll get comfortable. You just got to be patient and positive.
How tough is it to get them up to speed in the Big 12? I mean, you only have Texas Tech coming in.
Yeah. I mean, they signed up to play big boy baseball, so it's time to play faster and play looser and play more confident. And they got a head coach and a coaching staff that believes in them, so they're all good enough. They got to figure out when they want to put it in play, but it's not like I got too many other options. We're thin. We talked about our depth for since the fall with the COVID rosters. Now all of a sudden I look up and we're a little bit thin, but we'll figure it out. It's time for these guys to start playing looser, or we're gonna give free base runners and get beat. So I'll just keep adjusting the lineup. To me, I think we got enough pitching to win in this league. We just have to play good infield defense, and then we have to. I think we have to redefine ourselves a little bit offensively, and that's my job, where we can start controlling some things. But if you got enough pitching, and I know we do, you have a chance. It's just we have to really minimize those free base runners, and to me, it starts with infield play.
Going back to last year, you're playing freshmen. High school ball is such a formative time, just getting more and more reps, more time, more confidence. Losing senior seasons has to set them back, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is amazing why, that Nick Goodwin's doing what he's doing. He missed a whole high school season and played a little bit of summer ball. That was all abbreviated. I look at Luke Beckstein, he missed his senior year. He couldn't even go out and play. He played half a summer ball season, which helped, but every little bit, every little bit of where they do their senior year gets them Big 12 ready. And for those guys to miss the spring and, to be contributed is amazing. But these are, as you said, Tim, they're formative years and formative chunks of time in their development that they've missed out on. But we tried to make up with it with super intense, with our fall and our preseason. We're young. The lineup I wrote out, one of the lineups I wrote out this weekend, we had 3 freshmen in there, and Carinchi's really playing his first full season, his first Big 12 games. You can go up and down the lineup, and there's some inexperience there, but like I said, we all signed up to play at this level. We got enough arms to win, so we got to take advantage of it. We got to put them in positions to have success, and we got to create some offense to take advantage of our arms.
Thanks, Coach. Good to see you.
Yep, you too. Thanks, Tim.
Kurtz.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Hughes. You talk about redefining yourself offensively. Just where does that start right now, and kind of where is everybody at mentally after Oklahoma State there?
Well, it's baseball, and the last thing you want to do as a baseball player and a baseball coach when you fail so much is to panic. But I'm also not going to sit around and let quality start after quality start go to the wayside. Seems like I've said that a bunch this year, too much. So we just have to redefine what we're doing. And I've given these guys a lot of freedom to try to evolve into an offense. And, when you go 10 straight innings and get no hit for 10 straight innings and you're 0 for 41 and, that's tough sledding down there at third base watching that, and so, you got to control some at bats, work some counts, not so aggressive with our offense and in our plate approach, try to get some traffic on the bases, and then when it's tough to do stuff offensively when you don't have anybody on the base, so you got to get people on the base. And how do you do that? Yeah, maybe you have to get hit by some pitch, or you got to work counts deeper and work some walks or play small ball. We're just I'm not going to sit around and watch, what I watched this weekend. And believe me, we have phenomenal kids who have paid the price in their preparation to be great at this level. Sometimes you got to mix it up and help them out a little bit because the game's really hard and we're going to see some really good arms and your offense is not always going to be there. So you got to give them a little bit of confidence, whether it comes through a sacrifice bunt. And so just so they feel like they're contributing when they haven't in 3 or 4 games. Sometimes a bunt or a walk, stolen base or something makes them feel like they're part of the offense and it can kickstart you. But that's where we are right now. Every team goes through a little rut. And, saw some good starters, man. The unfortunate thing, I thought we really could have exploited Oklahoma State's bullpen, but we never got there. I think that's the last thing that they wanted to do was to go to their bullpen, and we just never got there. So we got to do a better job at that this weekend and work counts and sometimes guys are going to look down at third base and get the take sign, and that hasn't happened in 3 years. So they're team guys. We're all in it together. We'll figure out a way to win and get people on base.
Is Tech right now basically what they typically are, as good as they have been since you've been here over the last few years?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then some, just because they're loaded with all the kids that came back, with a 5-round draft. Say if they had a 20-round draft, they'd be down 5 or 6 guys, So as expected, everybody's rosters are, they're really strong in certain areas. They're good. They up and down. There's no outs in that lineup. They're deep. They can match up with you in a couple. They can platoon a couple different spots. Couple guys that can really beat you with their legs. Couple guys that can hit home runs. Starting pitching is really good. Really good. The closer's very good. So, yeah, they're good. They are what they are. The same guys running around here 2 years ago went to Omaha. The same guys will be here this weekend, which nothing like beating a good team in a series to get your season kick-started and going again.